Good evening, tropical fish keepers. Welcome to Life in the Amazon, hosted by me, South American fish keeper, Aqua Cardinale. Today we are diving deep into the Amazon River to talk about catfish that live in South America. Before we do that, I would like to introduce our South American mascot. This is an American flamingo, and American flamingos are one of the species of birds that live in South America. Flamingos can be found in Peru, Brazil, Colombia, and Venezuela. So this is the new mascot for Life in the Amazon here on Aqua Alex Live and my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Flamingos are one of my favorite birds. But anyway, today on Life in the Amazon, we're starting another multi-part series. And I'm going to talk about catfish that come from South America. There are over 1,000 catfish species. We think of catfish from South America, we often think of the gigantic catfish like the Paraíba catfish. We think of the red-tailed catfish. We think of the tiger shovelnose and the tigrinus. But there's also miniature catfish like Corydoras. And then, of course, there's the armored catfish, the Blacostomus. So over the next couple episodes of Life in the Amazon, we're going to focus specifically on South American catfish. Today, I'm going to talk about the South American catfish that I am currently keeping. We're going to learn about the Niger catfish. We're going to learn about the vulture cat, the four-line pictus. We're going to learn about the Lima shovelnose, the Irwini catfish, and a couple of other amazing species. So before we get started, what are your favorite South American catfish? Post your favorite South American catfish in the comments. Do you have any questions on South American catfish? Let me know in the comments as well. Also on today's video, I'm going to show you a video and an image of the catfish that I am keeping, the South American catfish that I am keeping. So having said that, let's go ahead and get this show started. And the first catfish I'm going to talk about really is a gentle giant. It's a catfish that grows to gigantic size, and it's known as the Niger catfish, aka the ripsaw catfish. And the reason it is known as the ripsaw catfish is because it's an armored catfish species that has armor on its side. So the entire side of this catfish has saw-like armor that can do damage to humans, predators, and other fish. This is the way that the Niger catfish defends itself against crocodiles, caiman, otters, and other predators that might attack the Niger catfish in the wild. So let's take a look at the Niger cat. This is one of my personal favorite South American catfish. So here is an image of a Niger cat that is being kept by another fish keeper. This Niger cat looks to be about 20 plus inches. Now, Niger cats, aka ripsaw catfish, Oxydorus niger, can reach about 3 feet. So for a Niger cat to live happily, they are going to require a large aquarium. So I personally would recommend a 180-gallon aquarium and larger for a Niger catfish because they do put on some decent size. They do get very bulky They get very thick and wide, but having said that, they are a very cool catfish. They will eat just about anything. My Niger cat eats Hikari cichlid gold pellets, Hikari carnivore pellets, New Life Spectrum sinking krill pellets, market shrimp, chopped up tilapia, earthworms, frozen bloodworms, brine shrimp, mysis shrimp, and more. He eats just about anything. And they grow a little bit fast, not as fast as a red tail or a tiger shovelnose, but they do grow pretty quick. They're a great tank mate for aggressive cichlids and other aggressive fish because they have the armor, so nothing is really going to bother the Niger catfish. Very, very cool catfish. So this image here is actually my very own personal Niger catfish. This is a Niger catfish that I have in my 6-foot aquarium currently. And this is an image of my Niger catfish devouring Hikari cichlid gold pellets. I was very lucky to get this image because I very rarely see my Niger cat out during a day. But when there's food, he smells it, he comes out, and he gorges like a pig, and he's a very cool catfish. One of my personal favorite of the South American catfish, hands down. The Niger catfish is very personable. It's a really rewarding fish to watch grow and watch eat, and it's an amazing, amazing catfish. So I actually have a video of my personal Niger catfish that I'm going to show to you. And this is a video of my Niger catfish eating pellets. It's available on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to play it anyway so you guys can see my Niger cat eat pellets live right here, right now on Life in the Amazon. So let's check it out, folks.
If you need anything, let me know.
Yeah. Look who's out, my Oxydorus Niger. I've never been able to get him on video eating, but I finally got him now. This is my Oxydorus Niger named Shamu, enjoying some Hikari pellets, and he's definitely put on some size since I've added him to my 125. Look how big he got. He got huge. But he's definitely a gentle giant. He doesn't bother anybody. Pretty cool video of my personal Niger catfish, right? I think it's an awesome catfish. To learn more information about the Niger catfish, please go to my playlist on my YouTube channel, my playlist titled Aqua Alex Live, and you will find the species care guide that I did on the Oxydorus Niger, and you'll learn all about the Niger ripsaw catfish. Let's talk about the vulture of the Amazon River. the vulture in catfish form. The catfish that will eat just about anything, dead or alive. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. We are talking about the vulture catfish. There is a myth out there that the vulture catfish is a ruthless, aggressive catfish that will eat fish from the inside out. Let me tell you, that myth is absolutely false. I have had 3 vulture cats in my aquarium hobby, and none of them have killed any of their tank mates. And they have grown to a decent size, and they have never bothered or harmed their tank mates. That's just my personal experience. I love the vulture cat. Why? Well, I think the vulture cat is like a hybrid of a pictus and a lynx catfish. Now, the lynx catfish grows huge, and most aquarium hobbyists aren't going to have the proper aquarium space or know how to house a lynx catfish properly. So we can't keep lynx catfish in the aquarium hobby. The lynx catfish is like a shark. But the vulture catfish fits that bill. If you're looking for an active catfish from South America that's shark-like in appearance, then you need to consider the vulture catfish. The vulture catfish is very active. It loves to eat, and when it gets that hint of food, it gets that smell of food in the water, whether it be shrimp or earthworms or tilapia, the shark frenzy begins. The piranha frenzy begins because they smell it and they're going to react and they're going to go crazy looking for the food. Feeding vulture catfish is really fun, and I find vulture cats rewarding to keep. So the images of vulture catfish that I'm going to show you are my personal vulture catfish. These are the vulture catfish that I kept and raised. So I own these photos, just to let you know. So the first image is of my current vulture catfish. So here is my current vulture cat. As you can see, it's a very attractive catfish. A gray body with black spots and a white underbelly and those beautiful Pimadella whiskers. The vulture catfish is a family of Pimadella. So they're like a lynx cat and a pictus cat in that they belong to the Pimadella family. Now, here is one of my vulture cats when they were in my 75 and I was growing them up. Very, very cool, active catfish. I love the vulture cats. Now, vulture cats do put on some size. They do grow to about 16 to 18 inches in length. So you're going to want to provide them a 6-foot aquarium at the most. So you're thinking maybe 180, 220, and larger. A 125 would be sufficient for one, in my personal opinion. Vulture cats will eat just about anything, whether it's pieces of fish like tilapia. They'll eat market shrimp. They'll eat earthworms. They'll gladly accept pellets and bloodworms and flakes. Now, as far as tank mates go, anything that is too large to fit in their mouth will work with the vulture cat. You can keep them with tiger shovelnose, red-tail catfish. You can keep them with lima shovelnose, niger cats, and other large-growing South American catfish. They'll do great with silver dollar, pacu, flagtail pracholotus, oscars, and other large-growing fish. Now, I had 3 vulture cats, but I rehomed 2 to my friend Daryl, who has a monster pond. And those 2 vulture cats are going to be going into that pond with his red-tail cat, and they're going to have an awesome home. And that leaves me to spoil the 1 vulture catfish that I have left. So here is a video that was taken today of my current vulture catfish. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 1 vulture cat that I kept. I rehomed the other 2 vulture cats because they were getting very large. but I kept one, and this guy's going to stay with me for a while until he gets way too big, which hopefully will be a couple of years, because vulture cats are one of my favorite catfish. As you can see, they have a lot of gorgeous spots and they look amazing. He's going to be hard to film because he wants to blend in with the background, but very cool catfish nonetheless. This is my vulture cat. Let's see if I can go over here behind the equipment. So as you can see, vulture cats are very beautiful, but they're also very active and amazing catfish. And once again, you'll find a care guide for the vulture catfish on my playlist, Aqua Alex Live. So to learn more about the vulture catfish, just go to my playlist, Aqua Alex Live, here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Let's move to the next South American catfish that is not only one of my personal favorites, but I have had this particular catfish for many years, and he's one of my favorite fish in my aquarium currently, and I plan on having him for many more years. And prior to getting this individual catfish, I've had many of them in Massachusetts. And this is a variant of the Pimelotus pictus. It's a different species, but it's a pictus nonetheless. It is known as Pimadella blotchi, and that is the four-line pictus catfish. A really cool, unique variant of the pictus catfish. Now, like the vulture catfish, they are somewhat active, a little bit less active than pictus and vulture cats, but still a cool catfish nonetheless. The four-line pictus catfish will grow anywhere from 8 to 12 inches, so you've got a range of sizes that they could reach. It really just depends on their water parameters they're kept in, how much space they have to swim, etc., what their diet is, etc. They're really hardy fish to keep. They're really adaptable to any water parameters, and they can be kept with just about anything that is too large to be eaten. So some good tank mates for the four-line pictus catfish, Pimadella blotchi, would be other pictus cats, vulture cats, Lima chevanos, brocious catfish. It would be Oscars, plecos, chocolate cichlids, anything too large to be eaten will fit in well with the four-line pictus catfish. Now let's take a look at how gorgeous the four-line pictus catfish really is. Here is an image of the four-line pictus. So this is a four-line pictus, and this image was taken off the web, but this is what the four-line pictus looks like as it matures. A very cool, active catfish. And the beauty about the four-line pictus is that it looks like the Dorado catfish, but these are much more appropriate for aquarium hobbyists. They grow to a moderate size. They're much hardier than the Dorado catfish. They eat pretty much anything. So if you're a beginner in the aquarium hobby, you can definitely handle a four-line pictus. Very, very fun little catfish, a medium-sized catfish. I call the four-line pictus the medium monster because the four-line pictus will only reach 8 to 12 inches. And again, how big it grows depends on a variety of factors, like I mentioned earlier, but still a pretty decent-sized catfish. One that's not going to grow huge, one that's not going to stay small, but in my opinion, it gets to the right size, if you know what I mean. I think the four-line pictus is an amazing, amazing catfish, one of my personal favorites. And I think the four-line pictus is kind of underrated in the aquarium hobby. A lot of fish keepers look past the four-line pictus when they see them at the fish store, but they're a pretty unique and unorthodox catfish. I definitely like them, and I'm definitely going to do a species care guide on the four-line pictus here in the future. on the legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel and Aqua Alex Live. Here is a video of my current 4-line Pictus that I have in my 125. The 4-line Pictus was actually one of the first fish that I got when I got back into the aquarium hobby a week or so after moving to Florida. So he is one of my longest kept fish here in Florida. I got him in 2019 and it is now 2022. A very awesome catfish. So he has grown from 2 inches to his current size now, which is about 6.5. And he still has a lot more growing to do. But here's a video of my current 4-line Pictus. This guy right here is my 4-line Pictus catfish. I got him back in 2019 when I first moved here to southern Florida. So he is my longest kept fish while I've been living here in Florida. He's about 3 years old now. And when I first got this 4-line Pictus, he was about 2 inches, and now he's pushing 6. So he's got a couple more inches to put on, as these guys can get up to 8, 9 inches. But that was my 4-line Pictus. He doesn't like to be filmed, so I'm assuming he probably went and hid somewhere. He's probably over here, I want to bet. Yep, here he is. This is my 4-line Pictus. He's 3 years old and he's very good size. He's got some more size to put on. But that's my 4-line Pictus to show you. Very cool catfish, but he loves to hide from the camera. He is definitely hard to film. And we're going to do a care guide on the 4-line Pictus very soon, so stay tuned for that. The next catfish we're going to talk about, another personal favorite catfish. Now, the shovel-nose catfish are widely recognized in the aquarium hobby. The most popular are the tiger shovel-nose, and I've got to tell you, I love the tiger shovel-nose. The tiger shovel-nose definitely have a strong place in my heart because they're very personable, they're very fun to keep, they grow to a monster size, but they eat just about anything. But with that being said, they do grow quite large, and you have to have a monster tank to keep a tiger shovel-nose. Well, I found a solution. If you can only get a 125 or 150 gallon aquarium, you can still keep a shovel-nose catfish. One that only grows to about 2 feet. What is that? Well, it's the Lima shovel-nose catfish. Some people will say the Lima shovel-nose is not as colorful as the tiger shovel-nose, but I disagree. The Lima shovel-nose, as it matures, turns into a stunning shovel-nose as well. It gets cool patterns as it matures, just like its cousin, the tiger shovel-nose, does. So I have a lot of respect and a lot of love for the Lima shovel-nose. Now, Lima shovel-nose can reach anywhere from 18 to 24 inches in length, and they are a very active catfish once they get used to their aquarium. So make sure you provide them with plenty of swimming space. But they do like to hide, so make sure there's some floating plants in the aquarium that they can like hang upside down in, like a shovel, or maybe a big piece of driftwood they'll like to hide in. This catfish, the name shovel-nose really stands with the Lima shovel-nose because unlike the tiger shovel-nose, they will actually stand like that, like a hockey puck when they're juvenile. They stop doing that as they mature, but they're a pretty cool catfish. So let me show you an image of a couple of Lima shovel-nose catfish. The first image is an old Lima shovel-nose that I raised. So this is an image of a Lima shovel-nose that I raised in Massachusetts. And I raised this one from 2 inches up to 12 inches. Very cool catfish. And here is a mature Lima shovel-nose. As you can see, it gets spots and a stripe pattern. Very, very cool catfish. The lima chauvinos are definitely a unique and cool South American catfish. So, like I said, the lima chauvinos can grow 18 to 24 inches. They'll eat just about anything. They're very easy to keep. So you can feed the lima chauvinos market shrimp, tilapia, earthworms, bloodworms, mussels, etc. And once they get accustomed to their environment and their aquarium, they may even accept pellets, which is pretty cool. Next week, I'm actually going to do a species care guide on the lima chauvinos. So if you're thinking about getting a lima chauvinos, well, I'll tell you how to keep and care for the lima chauvinos in the home aquarium next week on our next episode of Species Profile. And we'll talk about the lima chauvinos. So I've got one more video, and I think this is the last catfish that I'm currently keeping right now from South America that I have a video of. So the video you will see my lima chauvinos. This video was taken a couple of weeks ago, so I no longer have the two vultures. I just got the one. But you'll see the vulture cats in this video as well. But nonetheless, here is a video of my lima chauvinos. All right, so that was my lima chauvinos catfish that you just saw in the video. Very, very cool catfish. And like I said, next week we'll talk about the lima chauvinos catfish on our next species profile after this week. All right, so we've reached the halfway point of our show. I think right now is the perfect time to take our commercial. So Pinky, which is the South American flamingo, is going to lead us into our commercial. Now, today's commercial is brought to us by Little Egypt Aquarium Club, which is home to quality aquarium supplies like sponge filters, driftwood, and other aquarium necessities. Now, for aquarium food, you'll find freeze-dried pellets and other aquarium fish food, but repashy is offered at Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Repashy has food for plecos, catfish, community fish, bettas, and even monsters. I am proud to announce that with my coupon code, you will save 10% off your order, courtesy of Jeremy Stelhorn and the Little Egypt Aquarium Club. To save 10%, all you need to do is use coupon code ALEX. For more information, here is our quick commercial. And when we come back, Pinky and I are going to continue talking about South American catfish that live in the Amazon River. We're back right after this, ladies and gentlemen.
The following message is brought to you by Jeremy Stelhorn and Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Get our awesome aquarium products and find out how to save 10% using coupon code ALEX.
Hello, I am Brandy Cardinale the Beagle. I'm here to introduce Aqua Alex, and he has a special message. He's going to tell you a place where to get high-quality aquarium supplies and how to save 10%.
Hey everybody, Aqua Alex Cardinale here. I've got a very special announcement for you. My buddy Jeremy Stelhorn has an online business called Little Egypt Aquarium Club, that specializes in aquarium supplies such as driftwood and Bucko Cave and also tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club provides aquarium hobbyists with the specialized tropical fish food and aquarium supplies. I personally recommend repashy tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club has plenty of repashy. You can find repashy Community Plus for all your community fish, and you can even find repashy Morning Wood for your royal plecos and your panicu plecos that need wood in their diet. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, your home for all sorts of aquarium supplies and tropical fish food. Be like Aqua Alex and purchase repashy for your aquarium fish. I have predatory fish, and even they themselves love repashy. And get this, I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, love saving money when I buy quality aquarium products. I'm here to help you save money. So when you purchase from LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, I'm going to give you a discount code so that you can save 10%. All you need to do at checkout is use coupon code ALEX to save 10% on your order. That's right, to save 10% on your order, just use coupon code ALEX. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com. Every purchase helps Aqua Alex, and it'll help you as well. So go to LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, place an order, and use the coupon code ALEX to get 10% off. Now, back to the Tropical Fish Chat. Sorry about that. Welcome back to today's episode of Life in the Amazon, hosted by me, Aqua Alex, and the South American flamingo, Pinky. Today we are talking about catfish species that live in South America. And before my commercial break, we talked about the Niger cat, we talked about the vulture cat, we talked about the four-line pictus, and the Lima shovelnose. Now we have three more catfish species we're going to talk about before we wrap up today's episode. So the next catfish I'm going to talk about is one that I've kept years ago, but I haven't had any in recent history or recent memory, and that is the pictus catfish. Now this is a catfish that is popular in the aquarium hobby because it stays pretty small in my book. Now, the pictus catfish will grow anywhere from 4 to 6 inches, so it's not going to outgrow most aquariums. So the pictus catfish can be kept in 40-gallon breeders, 55 gallons, 75, and even 90 gallons. But pictus catfish are a schooling catfish. So they should be kept in schools of 3, 4, 5, or 6, and they will thrive. If they're kept singly, they may stress out, and a stressed fish will likely develop ick and other diseases and parasites, and ultimately they'll live a very shortened life because of stress. So I always tell people when they're considering keeping pictus catfish that we really should keep them as comfortable as possible. And to do that, we should give them a school of 4 or 5 or 6 or more, depending on how big or how small your aquarium really is. Now, as you can tell by this image, you can see how pretty this catfish is. It has a silver body with black polka dots and some stripes on their tail. And each Pictus catfish is unique because each is going to have their own variations. They're all going to have their different markings and their different looks. So one Pictus from Peru is going to look different from the same species from Venezuela. That's what I like about the Pictus catfish. And also what I like about the Pictus catfish is that they stay small and they can be kept in a 4 or 5 foot aquarium in a school with some angelfish, maybe some German blue rams, Bolivian rams, but don't keep them with neon tetras or anything that will fit in their mouth because they'll eat them. Other than that, the Pictus catfish are pretty cool. And we'll definitely do a care guide on Pictus catfish in the near future. I'm definitely considering getting some Pictus catfish for my tank, but the problem is I have a couple of large growing species like my Hippolytus capuru or Curupira, the black wolffish, my gold wolf, and some of the other fish may pick them off one by one, so I have to be careful. But Pictus cats are a unique catfish. The next species of Pictus that we're going to talk about is rather rare. It's a unique oddball species. I've had the pleasure of having them only once, and I definitely want them again, but the problem is they're very pricey. They're about $60, $70 per catfish, and they too, like the Angelicus pictus, they like to be kept in schools, but they grow much larger than the Angelicus pictus. And I'm talking about the ornate pim or the ornate pictus. These guys can grow anywhere from 8 to 9 inches in length. So they will require a 90-gallon aquarium or larger. And with that, you're going to want to keep at least 3 or 4 of them because they are a schooling catfish. I bought one and thought it would do well with a 4-line pin, but it died because it did not have companions. So if you want to get the ornate pin, you're going to have to shell out money and get a couple of them. But it's definitely worth it. The ones that I had in Massachusetts, it was in 2019, shortly before I moved here to Florida. Unfortunately, I had to sell them because I didn't want to run the risk of them dying on the trek from Massachusetts to here. So unfortunately, I did sell them. But they are a cool cat. So here is the ornate pictus. Look at them. They look just like a tigrinus and a tiger shovelnose, and they're a little bit more affordable than a tigrinus. They've got a brown body with some gray and white coloration and a cute, adorable face. Very cool cat. They'll grow 8 to 9 inches. They'll eat just about anything meaty. So you're going to want to feed them things like brine shrimp, market shrimp, tilapia, earthworms, carnivore pellets, etc. You'll want to keep them with things like other Pictus cats, vulture cats, other large growing cats. You can keep them with Oscars, datnoids, chocolate cichlids. Anything large will be a great tank mate for the ornate Pictus catfish. And when I get my hands on some, we'll do a species care guide of them. I really don't like to do species care guides on fish I don't have because then I can't show off images or videos of those fish unless I get them from somebody else, which maybe we can do in the future. But aren't the ornate Pictus cats really stunning and really beautiful? I think so. And I really enjoyed raising my ornate Pictus catfish. One last catfish to talk about, and it's another ripsaw catfish. A little bit smaller than the Niger, but beautiful. More gorgeous than the Niger, I might add. It is known as the zebra ripsaw catfish, the giant Raphael catfish, or simply the Irwini catfish or Irwini catfish, however you want to pronounce it. I call it the Irwini catfish. Now, let me show you how beautiful the Irwini catfish is. Oh, and by the way, these 3 images are of the many Irwini catfish that I raised. So before I show the Irwini catfish, let me tell you a backstory of how I found out about the Irwini catfish. So there was a friend of mine who owned a tropical fish store business, and he imported and exported South American fish, which meant that he got a lot of imports from Peru and Brazil, where the most prettiest Irwini catfish come from. I saw them and I thought they were a variant of a Raphael, and he told me they were a giant Raphael. And when you tell a monster fish keeper that a fish is giant, well, the light goes off in your head. You have to get one. So I said, you know what? Bag me up one. I don't care how much it is. I'll take one. And he gave me the biggest one he had. I got hooked to it because it was a very beautiful catfish. It loved to hide in the driftwood, but it would come out during feeding time and it would eat shrimp from my hands and pellets. So I was hooked, and I began researching Irwini cats, and I learned that they're really a really unique catfish to have because they're not too common in the aquarium hobby, and they grow much larger than Raphaels. They can get 18 to 24 inches in length, and they're very beautiful. So that's how I found out about them. And then after I had that one, I became hooked, and I bought another one, another one, another one. Every time I went to that fish store to get fish food, I was coming home with Irwini catfish, which is very cool. Um, and that is why I think Irwini catfish are so beautiful. They have different patterns and they're colorful. And that's why I like Irwini cats. But anyways, here is the 3 pictures of the Irwini cats that I raised. And this is one of them. This is perhaps my favorite picture of my Irwini catfish. You can see a very personable Doradid catfish, and it has the ripsaw like the Niger, but it stays a little bit smaller than the Niger. And as you can see, they're much bulkier than Raphael cats, and very cool, much more colorful than Raphaels as well. They're very easy to keep, pretty much the same care requirements for the Niger and the Raphael. They'll eat just about anything, but they're mostly active at night unless you have 3 or 4 or 5 of them in an aquarium. I found that with the more Irwini cats there were, they were more comfortable and they were very active. So when I get Irwini catfish again, I will definitely have a school of them so that they will be a little bit more active. Now the Niger cat I have by himself, and he's active plenty, so he really doesn't care whether or not he has companions or not. But the Irwini catfish is a little bit different. They prefer the company of other Irwini catfish, but we'll definitely do a species profile on the Irwini catfish once I get some of them. So we have a question from a live viewer. His name is Matt Ratto. Hey Matt, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. And Matt wants to know, have you ever caught a catfish? In an aquarium, yes, I have caught plenty of catfish. I've caught monster red-tail cats. I've caught monster tiger shovelnose. I've caught cory cats. I've caught pictus cats, and their little spines got stuck into a net, and I had to cut around the spines to get the pictus cat out of the net. And let me tell you, with South American catfish, that could be a pain in the ass. Because a lot of the South American catfish have those spines that get entangled in the net, and then you've got to like fight with the net to get them out. So I'm glad you brought that up, because then I can mention that a lot of the South American catfish have those spines that get stuck in a net, which is a pain in the balls to get out. But yes, I've caught catfish in aquariums with a net. But as far as fishing goes, I have never caught a catfish. And I wish I did. So, but luckily for me, I live here in southern Florida, and rumor has it that there are red tails, tiger shovelnose, marble acara, and even other catfish that aren't from this area that are living here in our waterways because we have subtropical weather. which is great. I like that. So I could actually go out here in southern Florida and maybe catch a red tail or a tiger shovel nose. That would be fun. But I've never caught any catfish, whether it be channel cat, bullheads, anything like that. I've never gone out and actually fished for catfish, but I hear it's a lot of fun. I think it would be a cool experience to actually get out there, throw a hook, and catch a catfish, or catch them with your hands like some people do. That's absolutely crazy, but fun to watch on YouTube. I've seen it on YouTube, and it's awesome to watch. All right, thank you for that question, Matt. I hope you enjoyed my answer. All right, guys and gals, tropical fish keepers. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Life in the Amazon, where I talked about some of my personal favorite South American catfish. On the next episode of Life in the Amazon, it will be part 2 of catfish that live in South America. And on the next episode of Life in the Amazon, I will talk about the hawk-nosed cory catfish, known as brocius. I will talk about one of my favorite Doradiid catfish, Hacer oriensis. I'll talk about the tiger shovelnose catfish, and we'll talk about some other awesome catfish like the jaguar catfish. That's going to be amazing. So stay tuned for the next episode of Life in the Amazon. And as a matter of fact, it will most likely be the very first Life in the Amazon of June 2022. Is it June already? Wow, time flew by so far. But I can't wait to talk about some more South American catfish. Before I end today's video, I have a couple of announcements to make. This Friday, I will be hosting the Fish Keepers Question and Answer. So make sure you tune in this Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I will answer any tropical fish keeping questions that come in. So come start your Memorial Day weekend with Aqua Alex and get answers to your tropical fish keeping questions. I will also show off Fish Keepers aquariums and their amazing fish. That's going to be great. I'm also going to talk about how to treat and prevent ick. And I'm going to talk about how to have a community aquarium with aggressive fish. And that's going to be fun. So if you have any tropical fish questions, email them to AlexGoYankees, Cardinale19@gmail.com. And I will answer them this coming Friday right here on Aqua Alex Live. Ask Aqua Alex on my Fish Keepers Q&A this Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the legendary Alex Cardinale for future episodes of Life in the Amazon and Aqua Alex Live and all my other fish keeping videos. Happy fish keepers, everybody. Stay safe, and thank you for joining Pinky, the South American flamingo, and I from South America for this episode of Life in the Amazon. Happy fish keeping, everybody, and have a great night. Leave a like, subscribe, and post any comments in the comments that you may have. Happy fish keeping, and goodbye. Ted Hood! Sergeant Alex Cardinale here, inviting you to be a part of the inaugural Memorial Day 2022 Bash, hosted by me, Sergeant Alex Cardinale. The inaugural Memorial Day Bash airs live Monday, May 30th, 2022 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. The 2022 Memorial Day Bash is being hosted by me, Sergeant Alex Cardinale. And on the Memorial Day 2022 Bash, I will discuss the history of Memorial Day, and I will discuss why we celebrate Memorial Day. We're going to pay our respects to all the brave men and women out there fighting for us and this great country. USA! USA! Also on the inaugural Memorial Day Bash, I am going to address the veterans. Yes, that's right, Sergeant Alex Cardinale is going to address the veterans. We're also going to have a very special guest. That's right, we're going to have a very special guest. Former Army member James Anthony will be our very first guest for the first time ever on a holiday bash. That's going to be incredible. So we're going to speak to a former Army member as we pay our respects to the United States of America men and women who serve in our Army and in our military. There's also going to be an appearance by Chef Alex Cardinale, and Chef Alex is going to give you the best recipes to make for the veterans in your life. There will also be an appearance by Aqua Alex, and Aqua Alex will talk about how fish tanks can help veterans. And if Chef Alex and Aqua Alex don't do the right thing, I'm going to have to put them in the camel clutch and the cobra clutch. Maggots! So the inaugural Memorial Day 2022 Bash goes down live Monday, May 30th, 2022, live 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. Come join me as we pay our respects to the United States military men and women, all those who serve, past or present. Don't be a maggot. Be there and be square, and let's pay respect to all the great military men and women. And that's an order. You're all dismissed.